Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for August 20th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the next couple of days, we'll see increases to fire potential due to lightning. Today, any lightning will be confined to the southern areas of the Great Basin and fairly isolated. However, there is a weak wave dropping in from the north over far western Nevada, and this may generate some isolated lightning over the far west, mainly the northern areas of the Carson district, with more coverage further west into California. This lightning will likely be on the drier side, therefore we'll be watching for anything that occurs in this area. However, on Sunday, lightning will spread further north across the Great Basin, with wetter thunderstorms over southern Nevada and Utah and the Arizona Strip. And as you move further north and west on Sunday, western Nevada and the Sierra Front will mainly see a mix of wet and dry storms. These storms could be quite strong, producing very strong gusty outflow winds. They may start to moisten up in the Sierra, but further east, these storms will remain a mix. On Monday, this lightning expands much further north into northern Nevada and into southwest Idaho potentially, and these storms will be moving much faster than we'll see tomorrow due to a cold front dropping south into Idaho. Therefore, on Monday over the northern half of Nevada into Idaho, any storms will be on the drier side and much faster moving. Therefore, fire potential will be increasing. Also, as a cold front drops in from the north into Idaho, winds will be increasing early next week. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen lightning mainly over eastern and southern Utah into the Arizona Strip, with a few isolated strikes further west into Nevada. The only areas that saw rainfall was across Utah into the Arizona Strip, where rainfall amounts were anywhere from a tenth to over a third of an inch. Fire activity over the last 24 hours has been light, with any new fires reported across Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. Over the last 1 to 4 weeks, we've seen very dry conditions over the last 7 days over much of the Great Basin, with any areas that have received moisture in the south still seeing moisture that is below normal. Looking at the percent of normal precipitation on the right, the last 30 days, again, very dry conditions persist from Idaho down into northern and western Nevada, and the moisture we have seen over the southern portion of the basin is generally below normal, but there have been some pockets that have seen above normal precipitation. How this has affected our fuels: ERCs remain below the 50th percentile over the southern portion of the basin and above the 80th to 90th percentile over the northern half, with still some areas over western and northern Nevada remaining above the 97th percentile. Again, as that lightning returns to the northern half of Nevada into southwest Idaho Sunday and Monday, this will be of great concern. Looking at the water vapor satellite loop from this morning, the front that moved through the Great Basin is now well to the east. We'll continue to see northwest flow and dry conditions across the Great Basin today, but winds will be lighter than what we saw yesterday. This also has pushed much of the deeper moisture further south, with only isolated thunderstorms expected today over southern Utah into the Arizona Strip. We do have a very weak wave, which is extremely subtle on the water vapor, that drops in from the north from Oregon into northwest Nevada, and this may trigger some thunderstorms, mainly in northern California, but the eastern edge could push into the northern portion of the Carson district late this afternoon into this evening, producing isolated lightning. And this should be monitored as fuels are very dry in these areas. Looking at the weather today, again, generally dry northwest flow will continue across the Great Basin, which will push any moisture far to the south. However, again, that weak wave dropping from the northwest into far northwest Nevada will produce possibly some isolated lightning. Generally, low to moderate fire potential is expected today. Again, on Saturday, the weather picture on the left shows those thunderstorms in the south and up the Sierra crest. However, again, we still could see that lightning over the northern portion of the Sierra extending into far northwest Nevada today, which would be on the drier side, but looks like coverage right now remains isolated. Again, general northwest flow with wind speeds around 15 miles per hour today. As we move into Sunday, we see weaker winds across the area. However, another area of low pressure well up into Canada will start to drop south. In the meantime, moisture will be moving back up from the south into the southern half of Nevada and the southern half of Utah. As this lightning returns to western and central Nevada, we will likely see increasing fire potential as fuels are very dry, and these storms will be on the leading edge of the moisture and likely be more of a mix of wet and dry. We will see some moistening up of the thunderstorms, especially over the Sierra crest, but further east they will remain a mix. So again, on Sunday, the weather picture on the left shows these aerial coverage of thunderstorms, with the winds on the right showing still general northwest flow, and you can see some increased winds over western Nevada late tomorrow, and this is more indicative of the strong and gusty outflow winds that may accompany the thunderstorms. We will continue to see those outflow wind threats again further south and east with the lightning. As we move into Monday, moisture spreads a little bit further north, therefore we'll see greater lightning coverage over much of Nevada and into parts of western and southern Utah and possibly into southwest Idaho. However, as a cold front drops into the north, we'll see winds increasing across Idaho, and that will also increase our storm motion over the northern half of Nevada and any strikes in Idaho, reducing the amount of overall rainfall. Therefore, we should see a significant increase in fire potential on Monday. Looking at the weather picture on Monday, you can see the aerial coverage of thunderstorms. However, these may extend a little bit further north. Also on the right, the wind gusts show the wind increase as the front moves into Idaho, with these gusts anywhere between 30 and 35 miles per hour or higher, so this will continue to be monitored as the dry conditions will continue. We'll also continue to see the threat for very gusty outflow winds further south. The overall amount of forecast precipitation is generally light in these areas where thunderstorms will expand on Monday over the northern half of Nevada, but we will likely see wetter storms over southern Utah into southern Nevada and especially along the Sierra Crest. Looking a little bit further ahead in the week, on Tuesday, that cold front moves further east with that drier air pushing through Idaho into northern Nevada. Therefore, areas that see lightning will see much drier air as we move into the day on Tuesday and still may see some gusty winds. We have not highlighted the winds yet in the significant fire potential product, but that may be something we do on Monday and Tuesday over parts of the northern half of the Great Basin. This will also push the moisture further south, with still thunderstorms continuing over southern and eastern Utah into the Arizona Strip and southern Nevada. By Wednesday, this drier air spreads across the Great Basin, with many areas seeing decreasing lightning coverage. However, winds look to remain moderate. By Thursday, we still see some type of trophy conditions over the Great Basin, and we also may see some moisture start returning again or pushing back up into southern areas of the basin for a return of showers and thunderstorms. However, again, this is where fuels are not as critical. On Friday, another low drops in from the north, and this may bring some more precipitation to parts of Idaho finally, along with some cooler temperatures. And this will also continue the thunderstorm threat further south. We'll be monitoring this area to see if there's any increases in fire potential in Idaho, again for lightning later in the week, but right now it looks like possibly cooler weather and maybe some showers. The overall amount of forecast precipitation over the next 7 days is mainly across Nevada and Utah, and that will likely occur early in the week. Looking at a little bit further ahead into the first week of September and the very end of August, generally dry and warm conditions expected especially over the northern half of the Great Basin, with maybe near normal or slightly cooler temperatures further south. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for listening.